Cranswick's one of the biggest factory farming companies operating in the UK, and they've been refused this planning permission to farm millions more chickens and tens of thousands more pigs on environmental grounds. This is a huge victory for animals in the UK. We're looking at this article on the BBC from a couple of days ago. Mega farms set to be refused over environment issues, by Laura Devlin. Controversial plans for a so-called mega farm are set to be turned down due to a lack of information being provided about its impact on ecology and climate change. Food producer Cranswick is seeking planning permission to expand its existing site in the village of Methwold, Norfolk, to rear millions of chickens and tens of thousands of pigs each year. It has previously said it wanted to modernise for a growing market, but locals, MPs, environmental groups and animal welfare charities were among thousands who opposed the plans. Kings Lynn and West Norfolk Borough Council's Planning Committee has been recommended to refuse the application when it meets to discuss the plans next month. Interesting, so it looks like this is only a recommendation at this stage to refuse the plans. We'll see what happens in Kings Lynn and West Norfolk Borough Council. In a 200-page report, planning officers said the applicant failed to demonstrate that the development would not result in significant adverse effects on the protected sites. There was also insufficient environmental information to enable the council to reach a view on its impact on the environment and climate change, the report added. Cranswick has claimed it had worked with council officers to provide environmental information, but had learned of additional concerns in February and had not been given time to respond. It is therefore extremely disappointing to learn that the planning officer is recommending refusal of the application due to a lack of information being submitted in respect of ecology and climate change, it has said in its supporting statement to the committee. Cranswick's one of the biggest factory farming companies operating in the UK, and they've been refused this planning permission to farm millions more chickens and tens of thousands more pigs on environmental grounds. This is a huge victory for animals in the UK. The report reveals the plans received 12,604 objections, a 42,133 signature petition, and 7 representations in support. Wow. How was so much opposition to this mobilised, I wonder? Objectors included 5 parish councils, a local campaigning group, and 2 South West Norfolk MPs, former Conservative Prime Minister Liz Truss and her Labour successor Terry Jeremy. About 10 animal welfare groups also spoke out, along with the Worldwide Fund for Nature, RSPB, Norfolk Wildlife Trust, Campaign to Protect Rural England, and Business Network Sustain. Concerns raised included farming methods, pollution, flood risk, health, and the impact on the local economy. This is a huge win for animals. One of the largest factory farming companies in the UK has been told that it can't expand its operations, and millions of chickens and tens of thousands of pigs are going to be spared lifetimes of suffering as a result. We need to work out how to replicate this in other places. This has happened in Norfolk, where Norwich is number 3 on the list of the 10 worst factory farming regions in the UK. Down in Suffolk, they're up at number 2. Ipswich has more intensive farms registered and more per inhabitant compared to Norwich. I wonder if the people down in Suffolk can get their act together like those guys up in Norfolk and cut down on some of the factory farming. Never mind Shrewsbury over here at number 1. These people in Shrewsbury. What is Shrewsbury Council doing about factory farms, I wonder? There must be all sorts of problems related to this in Shrewsbury. This was a huge win for animals, and it came through objecting to planning permission for factory farm expansions to councils. So we're talking about local government action in a UK context, and it's going to spare millions of animals. This is a huge victory for us.